most of what you guys see as far as that goes. I'm going to work down the list. I'm going to try to be quick and get you guys out of here and not waste too much of your time. I want to first start by saying thank you to the parents who have been coming and bringing their kids already and doing those things, because we've had pretty good turnout already. We've had days where we've had 18, 20, 22 guys. And, so that's really great when we have 15 guys that wrestle and play basketball. So thank you to you guys. I work at the school, so I'm available all the different ways that you want to, and I'll send out my phone number, and a lot of the boys already have it. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. We have a team app right now that we're using. I saw a couple people already went through that. I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk to anyone looking at my back. So the team app's Madison Mohawk Baseball. If you can't find it in the team app, then we'll find it with you, or I can send out an invite to particular numbers. So however we need to get that done, we'll do that. And then we're going to talk about our communication as far as the 24-hour rule goes, and we'll get down to that down towards the bottom. And then I want to get ahead of spring break now. As far as spring break goes, we aren't going to take a baseball trip like as a collective group. On the 21st, which is the day before spring break starts, the 22nd is like the Friday or last day of school, we play Middletown at Middletown as a scrimmage. We have a scrimmage on the 29th against a team from Erie, Pennsylvania that's coming here to do like their spring break trip. They're going to be in the area, so we're going to play them. In the days between that, if you guys have vacation or something scheduled, we're not going to punish anybody. Go ahead and take spring break. If they're going to be in town, we're going to do stuff on the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of spring break week. So you guys plan ahead as far as that goes. So as far as the 22nd goes, they're yours. We have a game on the 1st of April against National Trail. So we're going to do something that Saturday, that Friday, and the Thursday before. They'll have Sunday off, and then we'll play on the 1st. Any questions there? All right, so as far as like coming home from road games, we're going to have JV players. They can ride back with moms and dads if they want to. Just have a note for Coach Gomey. Coach Gomey's the JV coach. He also coaches girls soccer. He coached boys soccer. He's coached basketball and golf and all sorts of things. He's just the coach's coach. And then varsity players, we're going to try to build this culture up. So as long as there isn't like some sort of circumstance where they need to go home with a parent, like somebody lives somewhere different or a guardian lives somewhere different, we're going to be on the bus together. We're going to go and win together or lose together, and we're going to ride home together, and we're going to try to build up a team of guys who play with each other and play for each other. And if that's a major issue, we can like discuss those things. But as far as players, we want them to go home on the bus. We want them to ride the bus to the games. Here's kind of the main expectations for these dudes is, and they're simple. Be on time, and we're going to do everything after school. So there's only going to be a handful of guys, and we've already talked to them. If they're coming from Butler Tech or doing something else, then they're going to have to be late. Some days it is what it is. Be ready to practice when we get ready to practice. So you're going to have some time to like get your stuff, fellas. You're going to have time like you have before weights and things like that. It's your opportunity to get yourself ready and be ready for when we start, right? Be a good teammate, and we're going to hit on some more of that stuff as we go down. And I know these are corny, but these are the things that build culture. These are the teams that build programs. And being a good teammate means that we're going to carry ourselves better. We're not going to talk bad about each other. We're not going to talk bad about our program. We're going to wear the stuff and the M correctly. I went to school here and I played in this program, and you're going to have a hard time finding somebody who loves it as much as I do. So all I want to do is build it back up, and I want it to be something good that they have and something good that they can have after this. Because this is kind of a brotherhood that like I still see guys that I played with, and I still have interactions with those dudes, and I know the people who are from this community know how that works. It's not necessarily about the wins and losses. It's more so about how we carry and how we can beat. And we're going to harp on that a lot. I think that changes when we start changing the way that we talk and carry ourselves and the way that we practice. And I think it starts there. And then I think we'll start to see it on the field. Moving down the list, I don't want to have to do study tables, but right now we're in this academic probation thing with the school where we're not offering as many classes, and we have so many kids that are failing things and having D's and F's. So my expectation right now is that you're not going to have more than one D or F. If you struggle in a class, that's fine. But there's no reason at this point, and the reason why I feel like I can say this is because I work in this building, and there's no reason at this point why they can't have a C or work towards a C at this class. The teachers here will take your work, they'll stay after with you and work with you. They'll do what, for the most part, what you need to do to be eligible. So we're going to meet them where they need to be, and we're going to try to have C's, B's, or A's. And it's not that difficult here. And if you struggle in the class, you struggle in the class. We all do. You know what I mean? For the parents, I'm never going to take more time than what the practice schedule says. So if practice says we are done at 5 o'clock, they'll walk out at 5 o'clock. When Wade says that we're done at 3:45, we walk out at 3:45. I understand how valuable time is at the end of the day. I have a toddler myself. I wanted to be dad. Well, I love being dad. So when it's time to go home, we'll go home. Be supportive because baseball's already really hard as it is. It's already a game where people fail like 70% of the time, and that makes you good when you fail 70% of the time. So they're already in their head. It's already a mental battle every single day. So let's not have them battle it more on the way home. I know that's hard, and I know I may be asking a lot of you guys, but the last one is don't speak poorly of somebody else or somebody else's son, because those things travel, and what we're talking about here is building a culture. And so if you want to talk about us, that's one thing, but don't talk about somebody else's kid, because we're all a family here, and we're all going to be trying to strive for the same goal, and that's to be good young men, be competitive young men, have something that we want to work towards. So we're not going to talk badly about each other, so we hope that you guys won't talk badly about us either. You with me? Moving down the list, social media, we're going to get right back into that too. This is mostly for the players. We're going to have some concrete stuff as far as like social media goes. As far as like adjusting this culture, we can't dog each other on Snapchat and social media. The toxicity of telling your teammate that he's not any good or we're not going to be good, those things build up, and it's a real terror to what you try to do. So as far as social media goes too, we'll have some things where if you have opinions to make about your teammates on there, the coaches on there, then we'll have to have some sort of like repercussion to that, and that'll probably come down to, we'll have a code of conduct, and we'll get to this, where there's strikes for that for our guys. I don't want them, and this is not necessarily like, I think this player is bad on our team. This is like having the whole war with Carlisle before we go play, and all this stuff back and forth. We should just be focusing on trying to compete the best that we can, and that's kind of where we want to be on that. Chain of command. So I'm a real emotional dude. I like to wear my emotions on my sleeve a lot of the time. So this is more so for me than this is for you guys. And for our coaching staff, we're going to take 24 hours. We'll love to talk to you. We'll never tell you no on that. We'll have a meeting anytime that you'd like to. We're going to take 24 hours. So if it's after a game, let's wait till the next day. We'll schedule a meeting out. All the meetings will have me in it, an assistant coach, the player, and any parents that want to come, or guardians, whoever that'll be. So if it's a JV player, I'll be in on that meeting. Coach Gummy will be in on that meeting. The player, and then the player's parents will be there. So a lot of times I feel like what we deal with is that we don't always get the story from both ends. There's sometimes a communication there, so I want to over-communicate with you guys as much as possible. We're going to, as 99%, we are not going to discuss playing time. There is nothing that we want to do more than play the players that deserve to play and that help us win. We don't have a parent on staff. We don't have anything like that. We're going to play the guys that work hard, the dudes that come to practice, the dudes who are accountable to their teammates and to the program, the dudes who can own the 3-month period that we're talking about here, because it's such a short amount of time. We have a month of practice, we have a month of games, and then we have a tournament. And so we're going to try to be accountable to each other and do the things that make good winning teams. And some of you haven't been on a team like sports team before, and that's fine, but you've been on good teams before, and you know that good teams communicate with each other, and they're accountable to each other, and everybody has a role, and that's how we're going to try to make this kind of run. I'm on the backside now. As far as school goes, they should be at school as much as possible. Like I was talking about earlier, we have kids that are leaving now. Most of our upperclassmen are leaving at the end of lunchtime, which is around noon. Some of them are slightly before that, some of them are slightly after that. They have to have 5 classes core classes in quarter 3 to be eligible to play. So if they have, this is Coach Linos walking in, Coach Linos is also with us. They have to have 5 classes and they have to pass those classes to be eligible. So when they have 7 classes, there's a little bit of wiggle room. You can fail a class and GPA still get you to the point where you can go. So for the freshmen and sophomores, this isn't much of an issue for them at this point. But for the older kids, if you don't pass all 5 of those core classes, then you're not eligible to play because you don't have that wiggle room. And we're in the process right now checking on some guys and making sure they get, like, if they need another class or something like that. So we're in the process of meeting with those dudes, but I just wanted to put that on your guys' radar. Players are going to have to be at school for half the day, unless this is like a medical thing and you're having something and you got to be at school half the day to play in the game. Half the day is 10:52. If you can't do homework and you can't do school and you can't come to class, then you probably don't need to have practice. You can probably find another stuff to do with the 2 hours. You can probably find the makeup work that you did or something like that. This is what I'm talking about with the accountability thing. Like, you're an athlete because you go to school here, so you should go to school here and do the things that you're required of that first. If you miss practice unexcused, like you decide that you want to go home and play Fortnite instead of come to practice, you'll miss game time equivalent to practice time. Now, like I said, I'm not like up here trying to sound like this is the way, the rule of law. There's always things. There's always doctor's appointments and family trips and people in town. Like, we're going to be understandable. There's just certain things that we're trying to do to build a culture here. Please give us some patience. We're going to do the best we can to communicate, to over love your kids, to hold them accountable. Like, we want this to be a family. You're going to see my little kid running around. You're going to see Coach Linos' kids running around. We want this to be an environment where people want to come back. People want to come to games. So I'm just super excited and looking forward to the season. And the players have been great so far. The dudes who have showed up are working really hard. They're carrying themselves really well. And couldn't ask for any more. So again, thank you guys for that. As far as meals for players go, Amanda Young is going to do a meal sign-up sheet. I have one for the JV group. We'll have one for the varsity group. And we'll sign up for those and we'll do team meals for games where we have to go on the road. Fundraising, the reason why I kind of called everybody here, the big reason. We're going to do the quarter auction on March 9th. As of 2 days ago, the place that we were going to do it at fell through, so we're looking to find another location. It's not a major issue. There's some things already. We're going to have that handed out. Parents who have been here before already know about this. We'll be looking for donations and we'll be sending those out in the next couple of weeks as soon as we finalize where we're going to do it at. We're looking at March 9th for the date for that. And then we have plans to do a gift card raffle at the beginning of February. If you guys haven't seen those before, you collect gift cards, and this is probably a good time. You should probably have some laying around left over from Christmas. Send one in, we'll put them all together, and then we'll raffle off tickets for them, and the winner gets the basket, and we'll get a couple $100 worth of gift cards or whatever, and we'll do that. That's the major stuff I have. I'm going to continue to send more stuff out. As far as the calendar goes for February, we haven't been able to make a calendar for February yet because the practice locations have been reduced. Our practice locations have been reduced. We don't have as many time slots available right now. That's why we've had these weird times where we're getting in. And if you saw the January schedule, we have different slots where guys are hitting on the stage. We've had 25 guys show up a couple times, and that's hard to do with just a stage and a batting cage. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys picking them up and bringing them in those things. And if there's ever a problem and they can't make it, we're urging them to communicate that. We're urging them to tell us that before 3 o'clock or 2:30. If you see us, Mr. Seabach works at the school too, Coach Seabach here. If you see us during the day, there's no reason that you can't let us know before noon or 1 o'clock that you're not going to be at practice that day and you can't make weightlifting that day. It's more so back into that accountability thing. We just want everybody to be on the same page. We want everybody to be doing the same things. I don't have much else for you guys. We'll stay up here. Please feel free to come up and talk to us. We'll answer any questions that you have. If I didn't get something, go ahead.
Okay, tryouts. Do you know the latest for those? Because in the tryouts have been done before the winter seasons are over.
The initial trial would be the 23rd of February. And that is the week where JV basketball and wrestling should have off unless they're making a deep run. They'll have an alternate time. We won't like hang any of those guys out to dry. We'll evaluate the first group. Right now we have like 41 signed up. 2 of those are injured. Now we may have a few more people that haven't been communicating that they want to play. But right now it looks like that number won't be cut down too much. So we'll communicate it out as much as possible. That's including the wrestlers and basketball players. The number. So I'll just do the best I can. We'll have 2 tryouts. But the first one will be February 23rd. Thank you. Good question. I should have put that on there. I apologize. Yeah. As of right now, there's 13 freshmen signed up, and there's 6 sophomores. So creating the JV team will probably just be one collection of those guys, depending on how eligibility goes. Because we'll have third quarter before baseball really starts. That eligibility will hit. So 5 days after the quarter's out, we may lose a few guys. We're going to try not to. We're checking on them, but that's kind of it probably will be 2 teams unless 3 or 4 guys show up, and then we'll expand that. We'll hang around. Thank you guys so much for coming. Appreciate it.
13, that's a lot.
Yeah. The only problem is find another team to play if that's your freshman team.
Yeah. That's right, part of
Or just
Yeah, but what they take just
well, just about
everybody else.
hey, you could make a freshman B team and then or a JV B team, and then they can go play other people.
I'd cut kids.
Yeah.
We got varsity JV.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, but then you end up having 20 and 20, and that sucks.
That's too many. Yeah. I mean,
Stop it.